frustrated Japanese troops retreated from the Korean peninsula, obliterating cities and slaughtering civilians as they went. In 1633, in order to once and for all ward off foreign influences in Japan, the Tokugawa shogunate decided to abolish all international trade and have no more direct links with the outside world. In China, defending Hideyoshi's second invasion had drained the treasury of the Ming dynasty and left it vulnerable against the Manchus, who eventually ended the Ming dynasty and established the Qing dynasty in 1644. During the early Meiji Restoration era of Imperial Japan, the Meiji Emperor fought with China over control of the Ryukyu Islands, which were an independent kingdom and vassal state of China. In 1879, Imperial Japan annexed the Ryukyu Islands and established the Okinawa Prefecture. 15 years later, the First Sino-Japanese War began in 1894, not only over the control of Korea, which was still a vassal state of China, but also because Japan wanted to conquer Manchuria yet again. Strategically located and rich in natural resources, Manchuria had been a battleground throughout the centuries, as China, Japan, and Russia fought bitterly for control over it. The history of this land between the Yellow Sea and the Amur River, which forms its border with Russia, has been written in blood and tears. After more than 6 months of fierce fighting with thousands of civilians massacred by Japanese invaders, the weak Qing dynasty agreed to a ceasefire. On April 17, 1895, in the Treaty of Shimonoseki, the Qing dynasty was forced to recognize the independence of Korea, cede to Japan in perpetuity the Liaodong Peninsula as well as the Penghu Islands and the island of Taiwan. In addition, the Qing dynasty had to pay a huge ransom in cash. At that time, Imperial Japan also annexed the Diaoyu Islands as spoils of war and immediately incorporated the uninhabited islands as part of the Okinawa Prefecture under the sovereignty of Japan. This was done even though the Diaoyu Islands had historically been Chinese territory and the annexation was never part of the Shimonoseki Treaty. Within China, the devastating defeat by Japan and the acceptance of the humiliating Shimonoseki Treaty, along with many foreign nations vying to colonize China, became a catalyst for political change. The Righteous Harmony Society, a Chinese nationalist movement opposing foreign influence and imperial colonialism, started the Boxer Rebellion, which lasted from 1899 to 1901. The Boxers refused to accept the fact that the proud, ancient civilization of the Middle Kingdom had been brought to its knees by foreign gunboats, British opium, and Japanese military oppression. The Imperial Colonial Nations Alliance defeated the Boxer Uprising and summarily executed all those suspected of being Boxer sympathizers. The Russian Empire and the Qing dynasty had maintained a long peace since the 1689 Nerchinsk Treaty. However, Tsarist forces of Alexander II, the Liberator, took advantage of the decaying Qing dynasty by imposing the 1858 Aigun Treaty and the